Our next movie is likely to be one of the more controversial European imports of the season because it gives us a modern-day Lolita who seems a great deal more sure of herself than most of the older men who want to take advantage of her, so they think. The name of the movie is 36 Fillette. That's a French dress size that would be suitable for a young girl who is developed early, and that's certainly the case with Lily, the heroine of this movie, who is only 14. She's unhappy at home where her father beats her, and so she uses her body to gain friendship from older men. This is one that she sort of likes in this scene. She sort of feels sorry for him, too, though, because he's such an obvious loser.
Embrasse-moi.
Un petit peu, alors, parce que trop, c'est ce que ça veut dire.
Later, she continues their flirtation in a seaside cave.
Ça s'appelle chambre d'amour. Parce que tu vois, et ben, il y a longtemps, il y a des amoureux qui venaient faire l'amour ici pour s'aimer. Et puis, ils n'ont pas fait attention à la mer qui montait. Et puis, ils sont morts noyés tous les deux, en plein quand ils faisaient l'amour.
Ça risque pas de nous arriver.
Oh ben, non, ça risque pas.
36 Fillette reminded me a little of the French New Wave movies of the early 1960s. It doesn't have a big important message or a point to make. It's just about these ordinary and rather sad people going about their lives with a certain quiet desperation. At the end, they're a little wiser and no unhappier than they were before. The best thing in the movie is the self-confident performance by Delphine Zontou as Lily, the 14-year-old girl. She has a kind of arrogance about her that masks her youth, but every once in a while, you can see she's just really a vulnerable, troubled girl underneath, covering it all up with pluck and with style. And that's what the movie is about, putting on a performance to hide the hurt.
I was able to see through her performance rather quickly. I think that it isn't, the mask that she's showing, the Revere mask, is pretty obvious that she's quite desperate right from the get-go. In contrast to a much more sophisticated French film called Vagabond that we saw, which was also about the travail of a young woman passing through the French countryside. The French often use, and have a great history of using the children as mirrors of society and what adult people, how distorted they become when they become adults. And I know it comes from a great tradition. I don't think this is that good of a film. I think that I think it's just too obvious the way it's going to be.
Gene, I've talked about this movie with a lot of women. I saw it at 2 different film festivals earlier this fall, and women seem to really identify with the film, and they said that what I probably wasn't picking up on is the moment when a woman, a young adolescent, finds that her sexuality has given her a certain power that allows her to enter into the adult world in a way that she couldn't before. And that moment is rather exhilarating, but also very, very, very frightening. And that's what this movie is about. As I looked at it again, because I've seen it now twice, I thought of that, and I think that the movie really is a special movie.
Well, Roger, the point that you make is absolutely true. That does happen. It's been documented in other films, and it's absolutely true. I'm just talking about the very specific way in which it's portrayed here, and I think it's just a little obvious. Now let's recap our